Imagine waking up in a city that doesn't know it's about to die. It's the dawn of August 23rd in the year 79 AD. The sky over the Bay of Naples glows a soft, almost unbearably beautiful orange, while Vesuvius, that sleeping giant the Pompeians simply call time's Mons, the mountain casts its long shadow over the terracotta rooftops. It's just past 6 in the morning. Pompeii has been awake for nearly an hour. The city is home to between 11,000 and 20,000 permanent residents, though in August the streets swell with visitors from Naples, Herculaneum, and Rome itself. It's a prosperous, proud city. It has an amphitheater, 2 theaters, 3 sets of public baths, a marble forum that gleams like a fresh-cut tooth, and more than 150 taverns and thermopolia times ancient fast food counters scattered across its 66 hectares. Its streets a volcanic basalt smell of freshly baked bread, sour wine, the sharp bite of the neighborhood tannery, and the sea. This scene has been reconstructed using artificial intelligence based on historical and archaeological sources. If you enjoy this kind of content, where history comes alive before your eyes, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows us to keep building these forgotten worlds. The Times Via dell'Abbondanza, the main artery running east to west through the city, is already pulsing with life. Bakers have set out their loaves before sunrise. Archaeologists have found 35 bakeries in Pompeii, some with their volcanic stone mills still in place, carbonized grain still inside, olive cellars, dried fig vendors, smoked sausage stalls. A Syrian slave pushes a cart loaded with amphorae. Women with wicker baskets walk briskly. Greek, Oscan, and colloquial Latin mix in the air, like the languages of a port that never fully sleeps. On the walls, electoral slogans painted in red and black. Trebium aedilem, oro vos faciatis, times. His friends ask you to vote Trebius as aedile. On one of the city's corners stands the house of Marcus Lucretius, a merchant of times Garum. From the outside, it appears modest. Rough stone walls, no windows facing the street, a heavy wooden door reinforced with bronze. In Pompeii, as in every Roman city, wealth hides from the outside world. The house does not speak to the street. The house speaks inward. Let us cross the threshold. The times Fauces times the narrow entrance passage, literally the throat of the house, has a black and white mosaic floor and a painted dog on the doorstep with the inscription times Cave Canum, beware of the dog. The real dog, a short-haired mastiff chained near the wall, is still curled up asleep. In 3 steps, the noise of the city softens as though someone has shut a door inside your head. And then the darkness opens and the times atrium times appears. This is the heart of the house, a rectangular space, roughly 8 by 6 meters, with a central opening in the roof, the times compluvium, times casting a slanted column of morning light onto the shallow pool below, the times impluvium, where the water mirrors the blue August sky with the precision of a looking glass. The walls are painted in the distinctive Pompeian red, that deep tone of cinnabar and iron oxide that archaeologists have spent centuries trying to reproduce exactly, with false columns and illusory architectural perspectives that make the walls appear to open onto imaginary gardens. On the north wall, the times Lararium, the household altar, 2 bronze figures of the Lares, the protective spirits of the home, flanking a painted serpent that embodies the spirit of the place. This morning, someone has left a garland of fresh flowers and a small cup of wine before the figures. The house is protected, or so they believe. Marcus woke at dawn, as any person of standing in the Roman world would. Sleeping late is for slaves and drunkards. His times, cubiculum times, is small, barely 4 by 3 meters, with a bed raised on bronze legs, a mattress stuffed with wool and straw, and intimate frescoes on the walls, birds, flowers, small painted scenes that appear throughout Pompeii in the most unexpected places without anyone seeming particularly scandalized. A young slave brings him cold water in a ceramic basin, and the times stragilis, the curved metal scraper Romans used to clean their skin. Roman soap is for washing fabric, not bodies. Personal hygiene combines olive oil spread over the skin, scraped away with the stragilis, water, and the public baths to complete the process. Breakfast the times intaculum times is deliberately frugal. Romans of means consider eating heavily in the morning, a sign of plebeian excess. Marcus eats standing in the atrium, spelt bread dipped in olive oil, black olives cured in salt, dried figs, a cup of wine diluted with honey water. The morning belongs to business. Clients and associates arrive for the time salutatio, the daily greeting ritual, market news, petitions, favors exchanged. Marcus trades in times garum, the fermented fish sauce that seasons virtually everything in Roman cooking, and his product has a reputation that reaches across the empire. Amphorae bearing Pompeian stamps have been found in excavations as far away as Britain and Rome itself. A jar of top-quality garum costs as much as a young slave. Marcus knows this, and his house carries that air of settled wealth money that no longer needs to announce itself. But what about the kitchen, the space where daily life is truly built? The times, Culina times, is at the back of the house, a dark room with a raised masonry hearth where terracotta and bronze pots sit directly over burning charcoal. There is no proper chimney. Smoke escapes through an opening in the ceiling and has blackened the walls over the years. Many smaller homes in Pompeii have no kitchen at all. Their residents eat entirely at the times Thermopolia times on the street, whose stone counters with built-in amphorae have been found perfectly preserved in the excavations. In Marcus's household, the cook is Doris, a Greek slave of about 35 whose actual power in the house far exceeds what her legal status would suggest. She decides the menus, knows the master's preferences by heart, and is the only one who knows where the expensive spices are kept. The main meal of the day unfolds in 3 acts. The times gustatio, the starters, hard-boiled eggs with garum, fresh oysters from the Gulf, mushrooms sautéed with black pepper brought from India through the merchants of Alexandria. Then the times prima mensa, a roasted dormouse glazed with honey and pine nuts, a luxury item fattened in special ceramic vessels called times gliraria, times a stew of lentils with smoked bacon and bay leaf, and fine white wheat bread. The wine, always diluted with water in a 2-to-1 ratio, because drinking wine undiluted is, in Rome, the mark of a barbarian. And finally, the times secunda mensa, dates stuffed with almonds, honey cakes with poppy seeds, early grapes from the slopes of Vesuvius itself. The afternoon takes Marcus to the Stabian baths, the largest in Pompeii. Changing room, cold plunge to shock the body, a warm, fragrant room scented with lavender oil, and finally, the times caldarium, where steam condenses on the walls and the hypocaust floor heated by hot air circulating beneath the tiles from an external furnace burns gently against the soles of your feet. The baths are not merely a place to wash. They are the Roman social club, the place for deals, gossip, and politics. An hour in the steam, and the August heat and the weight of the day's business seem to dissolve entirely. Marcus's children live parallel lives within the same walls. Lucius, 12 years old, studies with an educated Greek slave who teaches him Homer and rhetoric. Claudia, 9, learns from her mother, weaving, household accounts, music, social protocol. By the time she is 14, Claudia will be promised in marriage. The striped cats prowl the kitchen hunting mice. An African gray parrot in the courtyard has learned to say times salve times with a Greek accent, to the delight of dinner guests. The back garden has a marble fountain fed by Pompeii's public water network, a technological marvel that delivers pressurized running water through lead pipes from the Sereno Aqueduct lemon trees in terracotta pots, and an open-air dining area where the family eats on warm August nights beneath the stars. Nobody mentions Vesuvius. It has been emitting small columns of smoke and ash for days, perhaps weeks, and there are tremors that make the cups rattle on the shelves. But Pompeii remembers the great earthquake of 62 AD, from which it recovered with remarkable energy. Some buildings are still being restored 17 years later, and tremors are part of the landscape here. The augurs have said nothing alarming. Now it is late. The oil lamps cast long shadows across the frescoes. Faustina says her last prayers at the Lararium, adding a pinch of incense to the small bronze brazier. Marcus reviews his accounts in the tablinum, numbers scratched with a stylus into wax tablets, sums that will not survive the ash. The mastiff sleeps by the front door. Through the compluvium, stars are visible. Tomorrow, there will be visits, shipments, business. Tomorrow, Lucius will have his Greek lesson. Tomorrow will be August 24th, 79 AD. 19 hours from now, the column of ash and pumice that erupts from Vesuvius will reach 33 kilometers into the sky. 6 meters of volcanic material will bury the city entire. And in that perfect darkness, preserved for 1,700 years, like an insect in amber, all of this will remain. The bread carbonized in the oven, the olives in their jar, the strigoles beside the basin, the frescoes of impossible gardens, the garland of flowers before the Lares, the daily life of a city that never had time to become history because it became, in an instant, eternity. Pompeii did not die. It was frozen. And we, nearly 2,000 years later, can walk its streets, read more than 11,000 graffiti scratched into its walls, love declarations, political insults, tavern jokes, and almost hear the noise the world made on that August morning when no one was watching the mountain. If this journey moved you, share it with someone who loves history, and tell us in the comments, which lost city do you want us to reconstruct next? The Athens of Pericles? Byzantine Constantinople? And comments, the Baghdad of the caliphs? Time is waiting. You just have to know where to look.